appreciate you joining me today. How was y'all week? I hope it was good. I hope you had a good week, honey. Hope God treated you good. Life treated you good. The storm is over now. And I hope you're doing everything that your heart desire. And I hope you finally getting yourself out there and doing everything that you said you were going to do. Because that's what this is about. Me doing and keeping my words to myself. So I hope y'all are doing the same thing. Because I'm not a social media person. And I always tell y'all that. So if I could do it, you could do it. If you wanted to be on the internet, or if you wanted to write your book, or if you wanted to film that film or create that art, if you see me, that is your, sign to do it. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to create the art except you, and nobody's going to put yourself out there except you. There was somebody told me the other day, because I just hopped on here and started talking about politics. And I've been enjoying myself, but I have some haters. Like, somebody told me, oh, don't I give a fuck about your bullshit-ass podcast. It's not even a podcast. Let's just show you, people will hate and cut you down before you even make it to be something. So I say all that to say, if you are here, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. But don't let nobody knock your dreams. If you have something in your mind that you want to do, just get out there and do it. Because Cat Williams said it best. If you don't have haters, you know what I'm saying? That's their job. If you don't have haters, that means you're not moving. That means you're not going anywhere. You're not doing nothing with yourself. So as long as you have people who hate on what you're doing, that lets you know that you better keep on doing what you're doing. All right, that's it. Enough spiritual banter. Let's get into the highlights of the week. We just talk about Trump and Kamala around here. And I try to put funny twists on politics and try to make it more bipartisan and fun and not so yucky and tense, because no matter who wins, we all stuck together in this country. We don't want them bombing us, thinking we really ain't with the shits when we really still with the shit. So that's why I created this page, to let us know that we're all bipartisan at the end of the day. No matter who wins, we're gonna support our country. Okay, so usually I have notes, guys. I go through just the weekly highlights of what Trump and Kamala have been doing this week. It's going to be a quick one today because I got to get out of here. So we're going to ring, bang, bow. All right, let me turn down my Kirk Franklin. Y'all remember this song? This is like, if you was a 90s kid, Kirk Franklin and the Family, and you was in the black church in the choir, and you played Kirk Franklin, you always wanted to be the lead. You always wanted to harmonize the best, and that's what this reminds me of right now. So good. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So it looks like since last week, Kamala's likability has decreased, unfortunately. So I know I was telling you guys last week that she was doing like this media blitz thing, and she's everywhere. She was in Howard Stern. She was at some she was with Roland Martin. She did a podcast with, I forgot the Young Boys. It was the Young Boys. She just been all over the place this week. So that's first. But it seemed like, based on like the history of like, I think both of them, like, look, do you know Donald Trump? We're going to get to him, but Donald Trump this week is going to be having a Trumpella. He's going to be in Coachella, California. So he's trying to go to all the places that, I feel like all the places Beyonce and Taylor Swift sold out, Donald Trump wants to go there to prove he can sell it out too. So they both on their bullshit, not just Kamala. They both on they the same beast, different fonts, really. But the thing is, I always tell y'all, people know Trump more. They're more familiar with Trump. I tell y'all, even back to Richie Rich, like, so of course he kind of comes off as the cool uncle, as you saw just recently with him on the Andrew Schultz show. He came off cool, laid back, and that's why people like Trump, because sometimes you go with the devil you know. It's familiarity. So I get why people are voting for him. I don't know why people are acting so crazy and weird. Like, of course you're going to go for somebody you know, even though he might be not a little wonky, than somebody who is brand new, introducing themselves to you, and you don't know what the hell is going on. So I get, you can't judge somebody for voting for Trump. I get why people get upset with all those. It was just a crazy time, COVID and the riots and the George Floyd of it all. But I get why people don't want to vote for him too. But I get why people don't want to vote for Kamala either. Like, because I see when I watch her interviews this week, which you'll get into, which I think ties into this likability thing. It's twofold for her with the likability thing. First half is Joe Biden's approval. So previously with Joe Biden, he had a 43% rating for the approval of the Biden administration versus Trump, who has a 48% approval rating for his administration versus Biden. So in that case, people are not really that excited about the Biden administration as a whole. So then for Kamala to kind of be his tag along, after the honeymoon wore off of like, oh my God, this is a female, this is so cool, like how did they kick, you know, all the Biden jokes subsided, I think everybody was left with like, okay, so now what? And that's what we're seeing right now. Okay, so it says, so when I was reading it, when I was researching it, overall, every media platform feels like this about Kamala. They feel like she has a lot to prove. Like she has to prove herself. And they said she has to show that she's someone you could trust. Because right now, people are not trusting her. She's coming off inauthentic. And she's just not reading well right now. So that's what's going on right now. Hold on, I'm talking about both sides. So don't call me smart yet. Because soon y'all going to be calling me dumb when I'm talking about Trump. Yeah, they talked about her in terms of like, she keeps switching personalities. Apparently she did a Jamaican accent. And then, you know, she did the down home country accent. And then she did her intellectual black, which I understand because I'm like that. So I'm just like that. Meaning I grew up in Jersey. So hence this weird kind of voice like that I have. So that's the Jersey. But I spent the summers in Florida with my dad, so I can talk like this too. I can talk kind of true. Cause when you're with your cousins, you have to talk like that. It's just natural. You can't help yourself. Like you just end up talking like your surroundings. And then I also am Bahamian, and my husband's family is also Caribbean, so you end up talking like this too. So you know you roll off your tongue. It's like, so I can't do all three accents as well. But because that's just like kind of like you being in the diaspora of being black. Imagine if you are Sudanese, Kenyan, and you might be a little bit of Somalian too. You're going to be able to speak all those dialects because you might have an auntie here, an auntie there, and an auntie there. Same thing with black Americans. That's why we're so multifaceted, because you can do what the Kamala do. They call it code switching, but sometimes it's just about proximity and what you're around. Especially with her going to the HBCU. Most of them probably talk, you know, with the little accent. Okay, so next thing. I feel like media is kind of turning on Kamala right now. If you notice, like, she's not as popular as she was, I would say, like even 2 weeks ago. They're kind of, you can feel the doubt. And I think what happened was, I think the JD Vance of it all. You know, y'all know I used to bash him, his little eyelashes. Because you know he be wearing mascara. He look better than me, honey. He be with the hair flips. But, so I think that is what the shift in ties was. I think once that, what was it, Tim Waltz of it all, the debate of it all, it was too friendly. It was too, and I think everybody thought like Tim Waltz would like demolish JD Vance. And when he didn't, it would like, it came out shocked. Everybody was shocked, but not me. I told y'all I was not shocked because I have been watching JD Vance from the beginning. And he was really bad in the beginning. Like, it's terrible. And then I would say, once again, the Kamala blitz of it all happened. I don't know what they did, but they put him in like some PR training and cleaned up his image. He started wearing better suits, more shiny. Somebody started investing some money into him. And he started speaking better. And every interview, he started doing better and better. So, because he was going bat for bat with some of the news anchors. And even Fox News was not liking JD Vance. Like, they were going off on him. They were, like, just not into him. But then I think all that combative, like, interviews that he had prepped him for the debate. Which I think is why Trump wanted him out there for those interviews. Whereas JD Vance and Kamala were still doing those wrapped up in pretty interviews, you know, 60 Minutes, and like they were just like all fancy and suited up and doom. It was like that kind of news. So they weren't getting that real raw fire rapid questioning. It was like all kind of media, you know, pre-recorded BS. And I think that it did a disservice to Tim Walz, because he needed to be asked those hard questions, especially when it pertains to those lies he told about him being in the military, those PPP frauds that he had out on his name. So he needed to be able to address them 3, 4, 5 times before he got on that stage with Vance, because that's why you had him like what Nicki Minaj shook, scrambling, like he was stumbling and stuff. So I wish he would have did some better media training, but he didn't. So here we are. So also a lot of media outlets, and this is across the board, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, PBS, they all feel the same about Kamala. They think she needs to have a better origin story, which I thought was interesting, because I thought we knew her origin story. Like, I guess her mom is Indian, her dad is Jamaican, and she's biracial, but apparently there's more to that story. So apparently the dad is Irish and Indian, but a dark skinned Indian, so technically that moves to Jamaica, that's like a West Indian, like a real Indian that's West Indian. So yes, he's Jamaican, but he's not really black. He just just dark Indian. Then the mom also, she just a regular dark Indian, straight from India, that I guess met the dad somewhere. So both of them are Indian. So she's a full-blooded Indian. Ain't no black in there apparently. And the Jamaican part is like where they get the black people from. But apparently the grandmother is like not the grandmother, and maybe just like one of those, you know how like, I mean, if you're Jamaican, you know, you got a bunch of grandmothers. You got a bunch of moms and all these people that raised you. So maybe it could be in that term. But something about that was a little funky. So they say her origin story is just real wonky. It's giving Usher, Usher whole entire story is like made up by Diddy. So it made sense to some picture for us to believe, but it was all like a farce. So yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of, I'm sure that'll come back around, or somebody will expose her like right before the election, because we currently are 23 days into the election. So it's go time, really. And okay, so this week they both were in Pennsylvania. Kamala was in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Trump was in, where's Trump? I don't know. I'll get it to him. But he was somewhere. I got it written. He was like in the middle of, he was like in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So he was in Montgomery County, and Kamala was in Erie, Pennsylvania, both fighting for, you know, those battleground states. The battleground states are, I wrote those down too. I was like, let me write this stuff down, because this is stuff that we talk about, but we don't really talk about. I think it was Arizona. Yeah, and so it's Arizona, Florida, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Wisconsin. Those are the battleground states that we have right now. So that's what they're mostly fighting over. So you'll see them in those same 7 places over and over again. So you'll expect that over this next like big, you know, hurrah, like it's game time right now. Also, so she did, yeah, I told you she did interview Blitz, continue with Roland Martin. She talked about on the Roland Martin show something regarding opportunity economy is what she wants to create, where she creates access to resources. And you know, I like that he pushed her. Like, what does that mean? Because she's been saying that on all her platforms, but what does it mean? So essentially, it's just $2,500. So if you're a new homeowner, she's going to assist you for buying that home, and I guess give you incentive to buy that home with $2,500 for you to do whatever you want. But for me, that's not a lot of money, because y'all know them closing costs can be upwards of $10,000. So I think, you know, maybe a tax credit, something, it could be better than that. The $2,500, she said, can go towards like daycare, childcare while you're in the process of buying your home. I don't know. It didn't make no sense. But that's what she said she's going to do. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just the messenger. Oh yeah, $2,500 for the first time home ownership. She also talked about her medical health. She said that she's in tip-top shape. She has the best medical report ever. And she said Donald Trump, if he was really like a truthful person, then he put out his medical reports as well, because she says every other president candidate has put out their medical reports, excluding him. He hasn't done it, so he needs to put out a clean bill of health as well to prove that he's fit to run this country, because essentially, he's been calling her dumb and unfit. So I think the letter was like the best doctor's note you can have in the history of ever, because the doctor is basically like, she's amazing, she's capable, she's ready to be commander-in-chief. And then so it was one of those letters. Yeah, I be seeing Candace on up there, but her too, honey. Her whole origin story a little funky itself. She said she grew up in the projects, but she grew up in Jamaica. What the heck? I don't know. Yeah, he definitely got something, because that time when he fell on that stage, I said, oh, poor little Tink Tink. We'll get to that. Donald Trump talks about that. He had me cracking up. See, the thing about Donald Trump, he's funny. That's why it's so annoying, because, like, I don't really always want him to win either. He do come off as the bad guy. Like, he's going to Pinky in the brain us. I'm here to take over the world. Him and Elon, Pinky in the brain. But at the same time, he's so funny that you can't hate him. That's why I'm like, I don't have no dog in this fight. I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. But I'm just here to give y'all the information. Anything else about Kamala? Oh, I still got time. I ran through that. Okay, so, yeah, health records. I talked about that. Okay, this is the last bit of news about Kamala. Kamala says that she's going to sit down with Fox News. Okay, so that's going to be fun. So she's going to sit down with Fox News. She's going to meet with Brett Baer on Wednesday. And the Fox News anchors were discussing her and essentially saying the number one thing that she has to do is show that she's in control. And I like that. I said, I know that's right. So that she has to show that she is commanding of spaces and can be in tough spaces that allow her to be commander-in-chief. That's what Fox News, and I know Fox News is pissed off. I told y'all, Fox News have been really nasty to Donald Trump, y'all. Really nasty. So when I tell y'all, they not going to be biased to Kamala or Trump. They over both of them. So this should be really interesting, because yes, Donald Trump had them in the pocket for a little bit for over the years, but he must have did something, because when I tell you every news article on Fox News at that is not positive about him. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because they're not feeling him. And I'm like, this Fox News, they talking about Donald Trump like this? But it is what it is. Kamala, I talked about that. Her accent. That's the last little thing I wrote about her. Okay, we'll go to Trump now. All right, so Trump. Now, look. It says the polls feel like people think he'll do better financially for the country. I told you guys he'll be in NYC in Madison Square Garden. He'll also be having a Beachella, a Coachella kind of thing, a Trumpella, whatever you want to call it, in California. And he said he thinks he's gonna bring out, you know, bigger acts than Taylor Swift and Beyonce. So you know he think he Beyonce. Okay, he's gonna be taking questions also at a town hall event in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, from the audience. So again, something that I think Kamala would fare well doing. I think she did that with Telemundo, and I was kind of disappointed, because when she was on there, she was talking about, like, the woman came up and said her mom name was Maria and her mother passed away. And she said, you know, Kamala, me and you can relate to our moms passing away. She's like, but her mom was an immigrant here and had been here illegally basically her whole life, from, you know, when the little girl was a baby, little girl was born here, all the way, and now she's in jail, all the way to the mom died. But she had to live within the shadows, but she worked really, really hard her whole life. So she was asking Kamala, what would you do for health care and things like that for people like my mother who are here illegally but under the shadows? Kamala was like, she said, abort. She like malfunctioned. She kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it was awkward. And the girl is waiting for her to give an answer, and she said, what's her name? And that's why we know the name. She said, Maria. And she said, let's all say Maria's name. She's remembered. Your mother, she's here. She's remembered. And the girl walked away. Didn't answer that lady question whatsoever. And that, I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. So, back to Trump. Colbert had a field day with Trump last night. just mocking him. That was actually funny. So you guys want to watch Covert's little skit? But he is in the lead no matter what nighttime show is bashing him right now. So, well, it's 50-50 if I'm being honest with you. He's not in the lead one way or another, but it's leaning more towards him this week than it has been in previous weeks. So Donald Trump is in the lead in Arizona. Donald Trump is 51% of the vote, of the popular vote, whereas Kamala is only at 46% of that in Arizona, which is one of the key battleground states. Another key battleground state is Pennsylvania. Donald Trump is trailing behind just a slight bit to Kamala. Donald Trump has 47% of the vote, where Kamala has the 50% of the vote. And this is according to New York Times, who's actually pissed off at Kamala right now because she didn't go to an interview that they wanted her to do. So they've been kind of, you know, sullying her name in the politics media right now, political media. But it's about 50-50 overall for both of them in the key battleground states. So he in some of Trump's speeches this week, he talked about some of the things he would do at the border. He said he would hire 10,000 Border Patrol people. Even though Kamala said something similar, not to that extent. She just said there needs to be a cleaning of the border. Like, we need to replace some of the staff. And Trump is basically saying we don't need to replace the staff. We need to hire more staff and increase the productivity down there because they need more men in order to control the border. But how and, he's going to pay for that, he didn't say. So again, I mentioned this. He went on to Andrew Schultz's show. The podcast is called, I forgot what the podcast is called, but it was interesting because he was able to talk his stuff. Barron actually recommended that he go to that podcast. That's his dad's favorite podcast. I will say they don't fact check. So he was talking. Y'all know how he gets sometimes. He was talking out his both butt cheeks. Like, it was crazy. Out. Complete. He was just saying stuff. He was like, I stopped the war. Y'all know I had to give it to Kamala. I got to give it to him, too. He said, y'all know I stopped the war. He's like, there's no record of that war. There's no record of that conversation, but I'm pretty sure I did. He's like, you know what I did? He said, I called these people, 2 world leaders in the middle of the night. And I said, hey, buddy, can't be having no wars. He's like, I sure did. He's like, there's no record of it. Negro, you lying. You ain't do that. But he just be talking. So sometimes, like I said, that old uncle thing, I was just like, whatever. I eat the meat and I spit out the bone. I can tell when he's telling the truth, and I can tell when he add his own little Donald Trump sauce to it too. So that's what I'm here for. I be trying to clean it all up, let y'all hear just what I think he means. And essentially what he means is he's good at foreign policy. He says that, says he's good at foreign policy. I literally wrote that. Because he made better trade deals with South Korea. He said he made better trade deals with Japan. And he says that he doesn't have to go to war with people. He can just send them a message or call them. And he said if it was up to him, Russia would have never invaded Ukraine because he has a relationship with Putin. And so he said he can just stop things before they escalate because he is a powerful commander-in-chief. Just like Kamala has to prove tomorrow that she's a powerful commander-in-chief. So he's basically saying, I am what I am. She needs to prove that she is. So that's basically what we're dealing with right now, the differences. So that's basically what we're dealing with. So he's able to say, I did this, I did that, and she has to show that I can do this, we will do this, we will do that. So that's where we at with that. So yeah, he continues to say, this is all on Andrew Schultz podcast, by the way. He continues to say that world leaders are willing to back him and share his opinion. And he said he deals with some of the most territorial leaders, which kind of was a little scary to me, because to me it was like he said that the more dangerous and powerful a leader is, the better relationship he has with them, which to me means that he is a little bit crazy and dictatory. I don't know. I don't like that. When he said authoritarian, that's the word. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing that you get along with the most tyrants of all of the big wigs. But he's saying that's like a positive. Like, he mentioned this guy named Modi, who is like a strong kind of, he's a really evil person in India. That's what this is Donald Trump now, not me. Don't judge me. This is Donald Trump. So he said that guy, he thought he was like a softie because when you look at him, he looked like somebody's dad, like really sweet. He said, but then he said he got a call from some country that was trying to invade or do something. And then he said Modi turned into a whole new little demon, little beast. And Donald Trump said, whoa, where did that come from? But he said he liked that. He liked seeing that beast come out of Modi. I don't know. I'm the kind of person, I need you to temper your beast. I don't really want my president to be beast mode like that. That's a little dangerous, y'all, because that can lead to dictatorships. Yeah, he said every guy at the top is in tip-top shape and it's like kind of brutal right now. So we need somebody brutal. He said this is Game of Thrones essentially. He said because he's nervous about nuclear war. He said that's more of a threat than climate change, than any of these things that we're talking about, like in terms of like gas and all that stuff. He's like the nuclear wars are what we should be nervous about. So that's what his, and I think he said a few more things that I wrote. Yeah, here's some more honorable mentions. He says that he says the reason, because they were saying, oh my God, you are so funny, Donald Trump, which I mentioned earlier, like Donald Trump reminds you of the old uncle. They said, you know, why are you so funny and witty? He said, because he's seen some of the most corrupt, horrible, dark things in his life. And so in order to keep him upbeat, he has to kind of make things a joke, everything a joke, which I don't know how I feel about that either, because again, that can mean he's skewed to the reality of what human suffering looks like. So he said again, Russia is too close to bombing like up the world, and if he was in office, he can temper that. He said we need a tougher leader, and he is the better leader. He said he said they can't turn the cameras off on me like they do Sleepy Joe. Like apparently when Joe Biden leaves press conferences, they like shut off all the lights and like make him escort him off. It was just funny. And he also, you know, talked about some of his favorite nicknames, which was Kamala. He called her comrades. He called some kid TikTok John. He called Gavin Newsom. He had all kind of names. He was just going. They just let him talk about everything on that podcast. I mean, he did talk about abortion as well, and they got some real topics too. He said that he would be in support of exceptions of the Roe v. Wade abortion law that has passed. So he has to review it. So we don't know concepts of a plan. That basically no. The only thing he had a clear idea on is oil, which y'all know, drill baby drill, and the border, which is now to hire. His plan is to hire the 10,000 men. Yeah, they asked him about the auto industry and things like that. He didn't answer it. Similar to Kamala, he switched topics and wouldn't talk about jobs and things like that. He kept switching and evading job talk and you know, environmental talk, auto industry talk. American production talk. He kind of evaded a lot of those trade talk things and just made jokes about it. On one part of it that we already know Andrew Schultz had the fallout with the black women 2-3 weeks ago when he was like picking on the black women with like 2 of the UK black men, and now Trump kind of effectively did the same thing. It was like one black guy on the panel, which I was looking for. I was like, where's the black man? Like, y'all got an Indian boy, you got a light-skinned white boy, a dark-skinned white boy. Where's the black man? So he was in a corner, or like in a little corner. So I was like, okay, but the only time Trump had to come out of his bag was to insult the black man. And I didn't like that. He basically called him bald-headed, said, what's under that cap? And that was to evade a question he didn't want to answer. I forgot what the question was. It was a more serious question. He evaded it by putting down the black man. I didn't like that because the rest of them, the black man like this, shaking in his hands, doing, you know, black men do all this, they be mad. So he was sitting there mad. And I was like, hey, that's what you get for being there in the first place. You got to know when you are really invited to the cookout, or were you just there for the aesthetic of the cookout, for the DEI of it all? He was definitely for the DEI of it all, because the way they, like, Donald Trump ripped him up and had him feeling insecure, I didn't like that. So Donald Trump has to be really mindful of how he treated, especially black men, because then y'all just go to war for him the other day when Barack Obama says y'all can't vote for him, and now here he on this podcast with Andrew Schultz. And he's up here joking on this black man. And that's all. He ain't joking on nobody else. Okay. Billionaires are depressed. But y'all don't hear me, though. Okay. Where are we? So I put general little topics. I guess the first one, because no, I have time. I'm doing good today. The first one I'll talk about is Obama and the black men, since I'm kind of on that topic already. I wrote a few things. I wrote that, like, it's a lot of leftist kind of talk going on with the Obama and black man thing, because it feels like Obama is, after what he said about black men, comes off as an extreme leftist, is what the media is calling him. And they're basically saying that he went too far. They said Barack has a, this is how black men feel. This is like interviews that I watched, several interviews across the board, PBS, CNN, that had little panels of black men. And this is just like a general synopsis of what they were saying they were feeling. So they feel like, Obama has been chastising them for, black men feel like Obama has been chastising them for years, along with chastising black women and telling the community what to do. They said that he's that because black men are the second most loyal group of men, they feel like they don't have to care about black men, and they feel like Obama saying what he said was like a slap to their face. But this is what black men are saying. Excuse me. They feel like Kamala on this, what she says, that black men are just like any other group. And she says she is working to get their vote. She doesn't feel like she's earned their vote. She doesn't expect their vote, but she's trying to work on them just like any other group. That was her PR to kind of clean that Obama mess. Because if you notice, Kamala, even though race has been brought into it by the Republicans, she has not addressed her race. So I think she was trying to keep that talk out of the discussion, but you know, it's America. We love race. Okay, okay, next thing. He hurt her strategy. Oh, okay, yeah. So, again, the black men were saying that he hurt her strategy, and he helped, if anything, he helped her lose black men voters. Also, it says, black men were embarrassed. They felt like this was a family kitchen talk, and that this wasn't, oh, race baiting. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Not overtly like what happened with Trump, with Biden, with Obama though. So yeah, because they were saying he hurt her strategy, and they felt like this is something we should do in the kitchen, not in public. We should not be talking about this stuff with the whites. This should be a kitchen table talk. So that's how they felt. They said if Trump wins, he'd be a president. So that was a big point I had never thought of. They said Trump only beats women. I mean, not literally, but in politics, like he won against Hillary and he's won against maybe Kamala, but he's never won against Biden or Obama. So they're saying that he doesn't really win against men. He only wins against women. And I wonder how he feel about that, because you know his ego. I'm sure he don't like that, but spread the word, girl. That's what they're saying. So we'll see if he can beat a girl. So they were saying they used Stacey Abrams as an example of pushback from black men. They were upset with black men because they weren't supporting Stacey Abrams. But at the end of the day, that was like actually a myth, because the voter turnout in those states actually proved that black men voted for Stacey Abrams only second behind black women. So the narrative that the media pushes out versus what the truth is something that Obama should have took into account before he come yelling at black people. Because now black men feel like, yeah, you thought we weren't, or even if they don't vote for Trump, which most of them don't want to anyway, it says statistically, not my opinion. This is based on the polls that the black men are taking. They don't want to vote for him either, Trump. But now they feel like, okay, what we're going to do is we're either not going to vote at all, or fuck it, we're going to just put our vote to Trump just to spite Obama. So that's kind of how black men are feeling right now. Yeah, so in order to clean up this mess, they're going to have Kamala. She's speaking next week with Charlamagne the God. I don't know if she's going to be on the Breakfast Club or his personal podcast. So I'll let you guys know next Tuesday, and we'll look out for that. Yeah, and I think a good question was proposed. It was I don't know if this was CBS or PB or CNN. I watched a lot of news. It says, are people who vote on social media or are people who vote on Social Security? that's really the question that we're going to have to determine this cycle, because right now social media, just like in the Obama era, is pushing the election forward, but this time it's not like unevenly on the young guy Obama side who knows how to work and function social media, because Trump has effectively, because of people like Barron's telling Trump which podcast to go on, and he has a young buck now, so he kind of know how to stay in with the in crowd. So because of that, he's kind of getting, you know, busy with getting on these podcasts too. So we're going to see if it's going to be social media, meaning the young people going out to vote, or they just running their mouth here on the internet. And really the older people on Social Security, those are the people who are going to determine the nation. So we'll see. Also, they talked about hypermasculinity on this podcast and saying that this is not just for black men, but this is for black and white men, that a lot of Trump's masculinity that is very present is another desirable factor that they see as men, reasoning and why they want to support Trump, because they feel like he has that kind of, as you mentioned, Derek, that strong masculinity, and that's something that they're buying into and they find favorable. Yeah, the bottom line is that black men we're talking about is don't take their vote for granted. Okay, Trump and black men. Let's see. So they said that Trump comes off, the reason he's appealing to black men is because he comes off as untouchable and hyper masculine. Think of Frank Lucas, like the Don, the boss, the you know, black men love the mob. So he comes off as that. So real gangster like. So they like that about him, that he seems like he can kind of get in trouble and also get away with that. That's according to, you know, the black men. These are black men saying it for themselves. So they also feel like younger people are voting for him because they feel like the Democrats did not deliver. So younger black men are looking at it like, Trump got all these black men. These are black men that were on interviews on PBS this week and also MSNBC this week. So you can look up all the interviews and you can see them talking about Donald Trump, and you can see them talking about Obama and how they felt about Obama, speaking down on him this week. They were not happy with it. So they were saying that a lot of young black men may be voting for Donald Trump because they feel like the Democrats, over their view of everything, have not delivered the deliverables that they said they were going to deliver over the time being. And also they feel like Trump appeals to them in that way because they got all these rappers. Remember all the rappers was getting out of jail? So in their mind, they're like, Trump got this person out of jail, that person out of jail. So that's why they're kind of... I was gonna talk about that later, Frank, about the debate. So, okay, so what else? So it says back when Obama was in office, he had 80% of black men vote. And so it's still high, but Kamala only had a 46% gathering of the black male vote right now versus Obama. So that's why Obama feel like he can talk to black men, because he having black men in the bag. And over the years, it's declined. So even with Joe Biden, it had declined a bit. With Trump, it declined a lot. And then with Kamala, she has less percentage of favorability with black men than Trump. All right, this is New York Times saying this, and they don't even like Kamala right now because she wouldn't do an interview with them. So it's definitely unbiased. Okay, a lot of black men felt like there was a social constraint that happens when you vote against the black nominee. So they feel like if there is a better candidate for them as a black man that they identify with, they feel they can't vote for them because their whole families will bully them and basically say, and I got this from a podcaster who had a compilation of TikToks, and one of the guys, black men on the TikTok, said this. He basically said he feel like as a black man, he get bullied by his family, and he was saying like he's really restrained and constrained by his opinion. So he basically don't tell nobody how he feel and how he's gonna vote. So most of the time when Obama, the only reason he felt like he could speak out now is because Obama was so wrong about how he felt as a black man. He didn't like that. Okay, but the bottom line is black men do vote Democrat. The numbers don't lie. and most of the black votes come from South Carolina and North Carolina. So in several elections over the past few years, when they did like a where do black people vote kind of study, it showed that they are voting in those states like South Carolina and North Carolina are the tipping point, which allows black people, or which allows the president to win, like a Joe Biden and like a President Obama, and even in some instances like a Trump that one time. So black people in those states really do carry the weight of the race, and typically and usually vote Democrat. So that's like a historical thing. I don't think it's changing now, so we probably can bet that those states are still going to go to Kamala. But at the end of the day, you know, I told y'all last week, Donald Trump's trying to get even 2% of the black vote. Any little swing he can, he's trying to get it. Brian Donalds is a perfect example for the black man who said, "Who? I'll give you him." Bully, baby. Look up Brian Donalds. He's a perfect example of the black man that's talking this type of talk. He's Jamaican. He is a first generation. He speaks like he grew up around black people in Florida, one of the most racist states. And he really is going ham for Donald Trump. If you go and watch his commentary on The Breakfast Club, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you read the comments on The Breakfast Club interview, you'll see what I'm talking about. I just talked about earlier about how they feel about Obama. Right now, I'm just topping it off about how I wanted to see how they felt about Trump. And that's basically why I'm sounding like pro Trump right now, but I'm just telling you how black men feel. Yeah, they feel like he released a lot of black people from jail, and he did a lot of good stuff for black people. That the ones voting for him, that's how they feel. And I can't help how they feel. Okay, so last thing, we got 10 minutes. I think we did good, guys. Okay, I got 10 minutes. I'm gonna talk about the hurricane debacle of it all. This stuff is a mess. And prayers to the people who are suffering. If your families are suffering, I'm praying for all of you. I have family in Florida as well, so I'm praying for them every day. Please, let's put our good healing out to them and bless them and hope that they are doing well, that they're able to rebuild their homes and their towns and their businesses. Please, Lord, put all your good faith and will into those people who are suffering right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So we're going to start there. Secondly, the hurricane relief, it's a lot of misinformation going on. So we haven't, if you notice, the media blitz with the election of it all, it really hasn't had time to show the people who are suffering in the hurricane. But maybe I'll find like a reputable relief company that I respect and put the link in the bio, because I really think there's so much misinformation about it. They aren't getting the help that they need. So we really do need people to go down here and help, because there's this distrust between the residents and the government right now, because a lot of them are Trump supporters in that particular region, and they aren't really supportive of what FEMA's doing and what Kamala's doing, and they don't really trust that Biden's in the mix, so they're trying not to get no help. So if they can just get the help of the people, I don't give a damn about politics, it's about the people. Like, if we can just go give $1 or $2 to like the hurricane relief fund to some of the places that they trust, then I think we've done our job. So I'm going to definitely today put a link in my bio for that, for a reputable company that I would trust in Florida. Or I'm going to try to find one that covers all, but I'm not going to do FEMA, because they're not really trusting FEMA right now for some reason. Gavin Newsom is in the news, baby. This is just general politics, no longer about Trump and Kamala. This is general stuff. Baby, Gavin Newsom, he is out here in these streets. He just passed he signed a bill for oil and gas proposals that basically will put the onus on a supply company to house more supplies inland, because right now I guess they house them off site, and then they bring and you have to pay for the import. He's saying no more of that. We have to have a couple of supplies here for us. But the gas companies are pissed about it. They're like, we're not going to hold supplies for you. We're not going to do that. We're just going to move our supplies to somewhere else. And so he's saying they're going to move the supplies to Texas. So yes, I may be watching the Texas debate because of that, because there's something going on with Elon moving to Texas with I told y'all this about 3 weeks ago, like 4 or 5 big huge company. I'm talking about like Google, IBM, AT&T, all are moving from California to Texas. And the gas company said that they are going to decimate California because of Gavin Newsom. And they said they're going to make it so bad that you cannot. They said there's going to be nothing investable left in California if he passes that bill. And he passed that bill, baby. He passed it. So now we got to see if the big rigs put their money where their mouth to and dry out California, because it seemed like that's what they want to do. They want to completely decimate California because of this decision that Gavin Newsom made. So y'all think the crimes was going on before? It ain't gonna be no jobs for real when they take a lot of those gasoline companies away. And gasoline, this is for road work and things like that, not just cars. Like gasoline functions for electricity and a lot of things. So it's gonna be a lot of jobs that are gonna be taken. And then because they're all billionaires and they all hang together, they're gonna take their other companies to places like Texas. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years you see all these people all around the world creating these huge big companies, these huge Amazons moving to China. You know, it's gonna get crazy, because they basically say we don't have to invest in America. We already rich. You lucky we here. That's essentially what they telling him. So listen to us. It's like Mark Cuban said he just bought a town. His friend had cancer who owned the town. I didn't know you can own towns. So yeah, he said he bought this big town. And in Texas, another Texas thing, so we got to keep our eye on Texas. Something happening in Texas. So yeah, he bought this big town, and then he said once he bought the town, they said, "What's the first thing you did?" He said he appointed a mayor. So the billionaires appoint the mayors, pay to play. That's how America really is built and founded. We got to remember that. Yeah, and they said the act that this proposal that Gavin Newsom put in is gonna last until 2030. So there's nothing they can do to get around it. And yeah, this was the Chevron owner. He said this will put oil companies out of business and they will go somewhere else. All right, so that was I think one more thing, and I'm out of here. Sorry guys, went down the wrong pipe. Oh, I told you guys about the battleground states. I watched this documentary on, this is unrelated to politics at all. I watched a documentary on billionaires, guys, and I thought it was so interesting. So it's basically talking about Elon and Jeff Bezos and all these guys. And it was saying that they are depressed because they want fame. And they said, can you imagine, like, you are this big rig and you're walking down the street and guy bumps into you and you thinking, I didn't know who the fuck I am. And nobody does know who the fuck you are. But you got all this money. So that's why a lot of them try to get fame, so it validates the money that they have. And a lot of them, think about it, we only know 1 or 2 or 3 billionaires, right? But it's like a bunch of them, and not a lot of people know them. And so a lot of billionaires are lonely and depressed because they can't go nowhere. They have to hire security, and it's really dangerous to be a billionaire because of, somebody says dangerous to be a billionaire because of the means in which they became a billionaire. I don't know about that. So it's way above my pay grade for whatever that means. So, okay, last things. I don't think I want to talk about this. Okay, a book to read. So I gave y'all something for the Trump side. This is something for the Kamala side, or just general politic lover side. It's a book called If We Are Brave by Ted Johnson. I want you guys to go read that this week. And I also was thinking about if we do a political book club, because last week I was telling you guys to read some conservative books about from Russell Kirk. So I was telling you guys to read conservative books last week. This Ted Johnson book is a black author. It's more of a liberal author. So how fun would that be if we did both? Like, we did 1 week we did like a liberal book, or 1 month we did like a liberal book, and then 1 month we did like a conservative book. And we kind of, there's also another cool book that's out. It's like from the 1800s, maybe the 1700s, and it's about Barron. Like, basically all this Barron stuff, Barron Trump, was predicted. So that kind of stuff, we can read both. We don't have to be boxed into angry Americans or free liberals. We can just learn and get educated on both sides. That's how I am. That's why if y'all here, you like that too. You don't like to be boxed in. Can't nobody tell you how to behave. So yeah, we're gonna do some book club. Oh, last week I had promised y'all, let me see if I downloaded it. I had promised y'all we do some AI stuff, because I thought that was so cool. I heard, did I download it onto my thing now? Hold on. Oh no, I didn't download it. Hold on. It's so interesting because I have y'all on my phone, but I have my iPad here. Oh man, do I have to pay for that? I don't know. Let's try. So basically, you can ask AI anything. I'm gonna ask them to break down the electoral college and the popular vote in like a Jersey hood accent. Y'all want a girl or a boy? Let me see. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do a boy voice first. Oh, they make me log in again. I already signed up for this. Hold on, let me do this again. I'm gonna do it for Pretty Politico. Oh, I gotta sign in again. Sorry guys, I thought I already signed up on my phone, but I didn't sign up on my iPad because I talk to y'all on my phone, but I be on my iPad too. Cause like I do my little typing on my iPad. Okay, so I think it's here. Let's see. Choose a voice. Okay, it's asking me choose a voice. Okay, so this is so. Let's see. Let me turn it up the volume, so you guys can you guys hear? Hello. Get started. Oh, wow. Hi. Are you there, Soul?
I'm right here.
Okay. Hi, Soul. Yes, I want you to change your accent to a Jersey girl accent.
All right, hon, you got it. We're going full Jersey here. So what's on your mind?
So this is the new chat GPT, y'all. Okay, so me and my friends, we want to know. Oh, wait, can you make the Jersey accent a little more black girl, less Jersey white girl?
I got you, sis. Let's switch it up a bit. So, what's good? What you and your friends want to know?
Okay, we want to know. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about the differences between the electoral college and the popular vote?
Sure thing. So in the U.S. presidential elections, you got two main components, the popular vote and the electoral college. The popular vote is all about the total number of votes each candidate gets from regular folks like us.
Okay.
But winning the popular vote alone doesn't clinch the presidency. That's where, no worries, take your time. What else you got?
No, I was saying you sound a little more like the white Jersey girls. I want you to sound like the black Jersey girls. Go ahead.
Got it. My bad. Let's keep it realer then. So, you want to dive into more about the electoral college?
Yeah.
Or switch gears?
No,
Let me know.
going. Keep going with the electoral college. We cool.
Aight, let's break it down. Each state has a certain number of electors in the electoral college, based on its population. When you vote for president, you're actually voting for a group of electors pledged to your candidate. Most states go with a winner-takes-all approach, where the candidate with the most votes in that state gets all the electoral votes. So win the presidency of those electoral votes, which is at least 270 out of 538. So even if you win the popular vote nationwide, you gotta secure those key states to come out on top. It's a lot to take in, right? If you got more questions or want to chat about something else, just let me know.
That's good. Thank you. We'll chat you up next time.
Cool. Hit me up whenever.
All right. Bye. Peace out.
Peace out. Catch you later.
And there we have it. That is the new chat GPT. It's so cool, you guys. You can ask it any question. How you guys can use it to be, creative. Because like I told you, this page, I created it just to kind of create an outlet for politics that wasn't so serious and heavy. And I want to have fun with politics. I love this kind of talk. I talk about politics like I talk about sports. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be so tense. Whoever wins, we still got to live in this country. So why y'all freaking out? So let's just enjoy the politics. Let's inform each other on both sides of what the hell is going on so we can vote for who the hell we want to vote for. And that's our business, as Ms. Tab says. So let me get out of here. Thank you for joining me today. It was a fun chat today. Y'all was so active and alive, and I appreciate that. Good, bad, and indifferent. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll see you guys next Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Thank you for joining Tuesdays with NICO. You know my favorite book is Tuesdays at Maury's, so that's what the inspiration of the name is. Until next time, thank you so much. Again, make sure you always maintain your MVP, your morals, your values, and your principles. And I'm out of here. Take care. Bye.